Have you seen this new trend in permanent jewellery of threading chain through ear piercings and then welding it there permanently? It's really popular right now, but is this a trend you should be hopping onto to make massive profits, or will it all be a bit Mike Tyson and come back to bite you in the ear? Well, we've trained over 100 permanent jewellery artists and many of them are body piercers too. There's a link to work with us in the description. So in this video, we're going to delve into the good, the bad and the very ugly and see what actually happens when you put a chain through your ears permanently. That way you can decide whether you should be welding ear chains right now or running away from this as fast as you can. So what is actually happening with this trend? Permanent jewellery is a huge and popular trend, and it's really safe when you attach bracelets, necklaces or anklets to people and weld them into place for long-lasting and sentimental jewellery pieces. And as this gets more popular, people are trying out new ways of wearing permanent chains that are a little outside the box, including threading chains through piercing holes and welding them there permanently. The end result is a cute little chain in the ear. So if we can put chains on people's wrists and ankles long term, then it would stand to reason that putting it through the ear will also be fine, wouldn't it? To see exactly what happens when a chain is left in a piercing hole, we asked our good friend Amber to join us on this video. She's one of our students, she's a permanent jewellery technician now and also a full-time piercer, so she really knows her stuff.
Hey everyone, it's Amber here from Tiger Eye Studio, and I'm excited to answer a question that I get asked quite often. Why can't you thread a chain through a piercing in your ear or body part? First off, let's talk about what happens when you try to thread a chain through a piercing. While it might seem like a cool idea for a unique look, it's actually not safe for your skin. When you thread a chain through a piercing, the chain can create friction against the inside of the piercing. Over time, this constant rubbing can lead to irritation, inflammation, and an increased risk of infection. But that is not all. The biggest concern is that the chain can actually embed itself into the tissue of your piercing. As your body heals, it can start to grow over the chain, which can lead to serious complications. This embedding may require professional removal, and it can leave scarring or damage to the surrounding skin. No one wants that.
There also could be massive concerns with the type of metal you're using. Piercers only use certain metals, and there's a good reason for that. If you're using plated metals such as gold plated or even gold filled, it doesn't really matter that there's a large coating of real gold on the chain. Being in that oily, moist piercing means that there's a high chance of the metal wearing off quicker, exposing metals that aren't supposed to be in contact with the skin. Even sterling silver can react with different acidities in the skin, so it isn't suitable to be in a piercing long term. Even gold doesn't have a smooth surface. To keep the piercing as clean and smooth as possible, the safest metal to have in there long term is titanium. And there are other safety issues to consider too. There's also the possibility of this being quite dangerous. When we make jewellery, we need to make sure it has something called a break point. Imagine if you had a bracelet on and you got it caught in some machinery. If the bracelet doesn't break, then your hand is going into that machinery too. That's why having a weak point on the jewellery you make is crucial. So when you're welding these small loops of chain in the ear, there may not be a break point, meaning that loop could easily be caught and ripped out of your ear. But what if your client knows all this, but still really wants you to do it? Doesn't the responsibility of the safety lie with them? Well, you have a duty of care to not be doing anything to your client that you know to be harmful, and sticking to your guns can actually be really beneficial for your reputation and your business. We've had several body piercers inquire to train with us in permanent jewellery, and they asked us what we thought about this, and we were honest with our concerns, and it upped our credibility because we weren't just jumping on trends like other people. Don't be afraid to nail your colours to the mast and not carry out a potentially dangerous treatment, especially when there are other ways to achieve beautiful chain looks on the ears. So if you really want the aesthetic of a chain on the ear, but you don't want to have your body growing through the chain and the risk of it being pulled out of your ear, what would you recommend instead, Amber?
I recommend using a flat back labret stud with a chain attached to either side. This option gives you that beautiful, stylish effect without the risks associated with threading a chain directly through your piercing. The flat back design is comfortable, reduces movement within the piercing, and it helps prevent irritation. Plus, it's super easy to swap out different chains or charms, allowing you to customize your look however you like.
When getting something pierced or worn in a piercing, it's always best to involve an expert. They are going to know more about the correct way to wear a chain and more about the type of metal that you should be wearing too. It's obvious then that the poorest quality of chains, wherever you use them on the body, are going to be the ones that cause the most problems with tarnishing. So if you're having any kind of permanent jewellery attached, you need to understand the difference between what is high quality and what you should avoid. And that's why you need to watch this video next.